to live anxious and afraid. You watch the news and see accidents, threats, and violence. There's war in the Middle East, viruses, the pandemic, these times that shake us to the core, and that can strike panic and uncertainty. And there are certain forces that would love for us to shrink back and change who we are, from peaceful to panic, from trusting to troubled, from knowing that God's on the throne to wondering what's going to happen. Are my children safe at school? Or what if I come down with the virus? Or what if there's another incident at work? David said in Psalm 23, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. God knew there would be some shadowy days, some dark valleys where we don't understand what's happened, where people have done us wrong and we feel violated, or a medical report is not good, a child is off course and it's causing so much heartache. These shadowy times come to us all. But David didn't stop there. He didn't just talk about the problem. Yes, there's going to be trouble, threats, just do your best. No, he went on to say, though I walk through the dark valleys, I will fear no evil. He was making a statement of faith. Yes, darkness may come, but I'm not giving in to fear. There may be trouble all around me, the opposition bigger, the sickness stronger, the adversity greater, but I will not fear. If you're going to stay in faith and not let life change who you are, you're going to have to put your foot down and say with David, I will not fear. Because fear is going to keep knocking at the door. What if it happens again? What if something goes wrong at school? What if you come down with that illness that your father had? When fear knocks, you have to answer with faith, I will not fear. Now, I'm not saying that we won't feel fear, because fear is a human emotion. I'm saying don't let that spirit of fear take over where you shrink back and you quit living and you quit going after your dreams. You quit enjoying your family. You're too worried, on edge of what might happen, what could go wrong. That's a spirit of fear trying to keep you from your destiny. And the scripture says God hasn't given us that spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The first thing God gave us to combat that fear is a spirit of power. You can't be weak and passive. I'm going to see if I feel better tomorrow, Joel. I hope this goes away. No, when it comes to fear, you have to be bold. I will not fear. But in life, there will be these defining moments where things happen that can shift us from living in peace to living in fear, from enjoying your life to worrying through life. This is the time to rise up and reclaim what the enemy tried to steal. It's time to renew our commitment to God, renew our love for one another, renew our dedication to serve, to bless, to give, renew our passion for our dreams, renew that determination to become who God created you to be. Let this be a time to stir your faith and move forward and not shrink back. You're not here by accident. God chose you to be here at this time in history. He didn't choose the 90 members that started Lakewood back in 1959 to experience what we've experienced. He didn't choose my father and that generation. He raised up you and me for this time. He knew what we would face. He knew the hurts, the threats, the evil, the pain. Nothing that's happened is too much for you. You are armed with strength for this battle. There is a hedge of protection around you and your family that the enemy cannot cross. The enemy is not in control of your life. He didn't somehow break through the protection. Now he can do whatever he wants. No, nothing happens without God's permission. When Satan wanted to test Job, he said, God, I can't do it because you put a hedge around him that I can't penetrate. You're not at the mercy of fate, happenstance. I hope I don't get harmed. It's dangerous. I hope I don't have an accident. God has a hedge around you. And I'm not saying evil will never happen, because God doesn't stop everything, but He will give you the strength to get through it. If it didn't take you out, it wasn't a lucky break. It was the hand of God pushing back darkness, saying it's not your time to go. How many times has God protected you that you didn't even know about? He stopped that car that should have hit you. Stop that person that wanted to harm. Stop the trouble before it got to you. You never knew anything about it, but His hand of favor and protection and mercy was watching after you, keeping you from harm's way. And sure, we can all find a reason to live worried, afraid, but when you understand who's watching after you, who's ordering your steps, who's fighting your battles, who's holding back the darkness, then you can say with confidence, I will not fear. Listen to David's attitude, Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord protects me from danger. Why should I be afraid? When evil people come to destroy me, they will stumble and fall. Though a mighty army surrounds me, I will remain confident, for in my time of trouble, God will hide me. Where would we be without the mercy and protection of our God? How can we thank Him enough for what could have happened, for we have seen the goodness of God, sparing us from all kinds of heartache and pain. Now, I have never come out of an attack without going to a new level, seeing new opportunities, having greater faith and greater confidence. And really, this is the biggest challenge in Lakewood's 65-year history. This tells me that God is up to something big. He's about to do a new thing. Not just for us as a ministry, but in your life. You're about to step into greater influence, greater favor, greater wisdom, greater confidence, greater resources. David said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. He didn't say, I stop in the valley. I set up camp in the valley. After all, look what I've been through. I've got a good reason to be afraid, bitter, stressed. No, God said He would give you beauty for the ashes. He said He'll pay you back double for the unfair things, but you have to do your part and keep walking through the valley. The enemy would love for us to get stuck in fear, stuck in anxiety, stuck letting negative images play, rehearsing the hurts, reliving the pain. Those images may come, but you have to cast down wrong imaginations. Don't let them keep playing. Just like the remote control for your television. If you don't like a program, you just click and change the channel. It's the same thing in your mind. When the wrong picture starts playing, you have the remote, change the channel. When fear comes, switch over into faith. When negative memories come up, wanting to remind you of all the heartache, disappointment, change that channel. Jesus told His disciples, I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves. It's significant that a sheep has no way to protect itself. Sheep are one of the most helpless animals when it comes to defense. They can't run fast. They can't really hide. They can't bite. They don't growl and at least threaten their opponent. Seems like it'd been better if God would have said, I'm sending you out as a gazelle among wolves. At least we could outrun them. Or a lion, we could claw. An elephant, we'd have size. The reason God used sheep was because sheep rely on their shepherd for protection. Have you noticed sheep don't live worried? I've never seen a stressed out sheep. Victoria and I were riding four-wheelers one time in the mountains, and we came around this corner and there were hundreds of sheep on the trail. We couldn't get by. I honked the horn again and again, never fazed them. They wouldn't budge. I pulled up real close and I put the machine in neutral and I revved the engine as loud as it would go, 4 or 5 times. I'll never forget, one of those sheep out of hundreds looked at me like, you're a fool. They never moved.